Thank you, Carl. My job is to keep us on time. Okay, so I'm going to try to capture a little bit of time here. I'm really glad to be back in my hometown with my wife, Mary Jo. This is my hometown. It always will be. I was born in St. Luke's, right here on the plaza, but then my mother took me to Kansas to bring me up. But I can claim both. And in my confirmation hearing for chairman, I had a senator from Kansas and a congressman from Missouri standing up for me, which is, when you're in front of those hearings, you need all the help you can get, it turns out. It's really a pleasure to be with everybody here, and I just want to thank the Truman Foundation for all you do to keep the spirit of President Truman alive. A great member, obviously, of this community, but he meant so much to our nation. I have a couple of things I want to say later about that. But then again, the foundation and the scholarshiping and the way that we encourage students to have an international perspective. So for all the scholarship students I was privileged enough to take a picture with this morning, congratulations again, good luck to you. And then we have students from a lot of the surrounding universities, and I will just tell you, it was a bittersweet moment when I saw the K-State student contingent and their advisor. Hey, we'll get you better seats next year, but anyway, that's, no, it's really good to see all of you again, some of whom I knew fairly well while I was in my tenure at K-State. President Truman did two things that had a direct impact, a very positive direct impact on me and my career in the U.S. military. I did serve in the military for 40 years. My plan was 5 years out of ROTC. That was my obligation as a pilot, and then to come back to Kansas City and work for my father in the family business. And they just kept promoting me, and I never got back here in the family business. But there were two things that President Truman did that sort of kept me in the military that were essential to it. The first one was ending segregation in 1947. That's a big deal. Think of the courage it took back in that era to do that. So I've got to tell you, I was always proud to be a member of our armed forces that so long ago was kind of trend-setting for our society in ending segregation in the military. And the meritocracy in the military is probably as true a meritocracy as you can find. Of course, we had to do some other things later on about being more inclusive in our military, but President Truman started that effort, and it made it such a privilege to serve in such an organization. The second one is around civil-military relations, and that topic comes up from time to time. It's been on people's lips and minds here, not recently since the events of January 6th, the Capitol and so forth. It's something I studied, something I taught when I left the military, so it's a subject near and dear to my heart. So while not necessarily the law, the tradition in the United States is that you always have civilian control of the military. And when the military starts acting like politicians, nobody elected the military, when they start acting like politicians, the civilians need to take charge. And so we all know about President Truman firing, essentially, General MacArthur, one of the most popular figures in the United States of America at the time. Think of the courage it took to do that. I can't imagine what the headlines would have read at that time, because there's our World War II hero, Korean War, all this business, and nope, you're out of here. And President Obama had to do that in his tenure. I'm not going to go into that, but those are two fundamental things that I think President Harry Truman set us on the right path for, and really impacted my career, and it's impacting all of us today. So Secretary/Director Panetta mentioned courage. I was visiting the Air Force Memorial. I don't go there every time I'm in Washington. I mean, I don't just hang out around the Air Force Memorial, but I was up there reading some of the quotes with some visitors. Mary Jo's sister was visiting. So we went to the Air Force Memorial, and there are lots of quotes up there on the marble. One of them was from Sir Winston Churchill. Here's what he said about courage. Quote, "Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others." Secretary Panetta talked about that. Certainly, President Truman embodied courage, and I think that courage allowed him to do things that were so significant for our country they'll live forever. And so my charge to you would be, as it was from Secretary Panetta, is that we have to have the courage of our convictions. And especially in this time, and I agree with a lot of the words that Secretary Panetta was saying up there, and I'm not going to go into all that, but you know, the future of our democracy is at stake, and it depends on all of us, everybody in this room, to have the courage of your convictions and live that out in your life. And I'll just leave you with that, and God bless Harry Truman. Thank you all.